Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 4, Chapter 15, Text 6. Esha Sakshat Dharer Amsho
Esha Sakshaddareramsho
Jato Lokarilakshaya
Jato Lokarirakshaya
Iyam Cha Tatpara Hishrir
Iyam Cha Tatparahishre
Anujagye Anapayani.
Anujagye Anapayini.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In the form of King Pṛthu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared through a part of His potency to protect the people of the world. The Goddess of Fortune is the constant companion of the Lord, and therefore she has incarnated partially as Archi to become King Pṛthu's queen. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that whenever one sees an extraordinary power, we should conclude that a specific partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present. There are innumerable such personalities, but not all of them are direct Vishnu Tattva, plenary expansions of the Lord. Many living entities are classified among the Shakti Tattvas. Such incarnations, empowered for specific purposes, are known as Shakti-Avesh avatars. King Pṛthu was such a Shakti-Avesh avatar of the Lord. Similarly, Archi, King Pṛthu's wife, was a Shakti-Avesh avatar of the goddess of fortune. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, wherever there's extraordinary power, that represents him. He says all the great things among the beasts, the lion and the great Mount Himalaya, the great Mount Meru, all these represent him. But not that they're literally him, but to understand that power, Krishna is the source of all power. And certain personalities appear as his incarnations, as an expansion of his power, as a representation of his power, as Pṛthu Maharaj is. Pṛthu Maharaj is not Vishnu Tattva, he is Jiva Tattva, but he is a Shakti-Avesh avatar, a representation of the power of the Lord. Because the Lord has power, he can give that power to anyone he wants. Say we have $1 million, we can give that to anyone we want. No, nobody can stop us. Same way, all power belongs to Krishna. So nobody can stop him to give anyone that power. Or we will say that, oh, why is he giving this Jiva this power? No, it's Krishna's will. He sees that someone is suitable and he can empower them. Maitreya Vacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Prashamshanti Smatam Vipra
Prashamsanti Smatam Vipra
Gandharva Prabhara Jagu
Gandharva Pravarajagu
Mumuchu Sumanodhara
Mumuchu Sumanodhara
Siddha Nrityanti Swastriya.
Siddha Nrityanti Swastriya.
The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidurji, at that time all the Brahmins highly praised and glorified King Pṛthu, and the best singers of Gandharvalok chanted his glories. The inhabitants of Siddhalok showered flowers, and the beautiful women in the heavenly planets danced in ecstasy. So all the higher personalities, the Gandharvas are the professional singers of the demigods. They're specifically very talented in singing. That's why they're called best singers. Siddhalok, they are the Siddhas, the mystic yogis, and the Apsaras. They all are happy and welcoming. Maharaj Pṛthu. Shankha Turya Mridangādya
शङ्खतूर्यामृदङ्गाधा
Netur Dundubhayo Divi
नेदुर्दुन्दुभयो दिविः
Tatra Sarva Upajagmur
तत्र सर्वे उपाजग्मु
Devarshi Pitrinam Ganaha.
देवर्षि पितॄणां गणः
Conch shells, bugles, drums, and kettle drums vibrated in outer space. Great sages, forefathers, and personalities from the heavenly planets all came to Earth from various planetary systems. So the Pitra are coming from the Pitralok, the demigods are coming from the heavenly planets, and there's when there is joyful occasion, then we also have our band and our drums. So that's how they're all playing these musical instruments. Brahma Jagat Guru Deve
ब्रह्मा जगद्गुरु
Sahasriya Sureshware
सः आसत्र्य सुरेश्वरिः
Venyasya Dakshine Haste
वैनस्य दक्षिणे हस्ते
Drishtva Chirnam Gadabhrita
दृष्ट्वा चिह्नं गदाभृतः
Adayor Aravindam Cha
पादयोः
अरविन्दं च
Tamvai Mene Hare Kala
तं
तं
वे
वै
मेने
मेने
हरे
हरे
कलाम्
कलम्
Yasya Prati Patam Chakram
यस्य
यस्य
अप्रतिहतं
हतं
चक्रम्
चक्रम्
Amsha Sa Parmeshthinaha.
अंशः
अंशः
स
परमेष्ठिनः
परमेष्ठिनः
Or Brahma, the master of the entire universe, arrived there accompanied by all the demigods and the chiefs. Seeing the lines of Lord Vishnu's palm on King Prithu's right hand and impressions of lotus flowers on the soles of his feet, Lord Brahma could understand that King Prithu was a partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one whose palm bears the sign of a disc, as well as other such lines, should be considered a partial representation or incarnation of the Supreme Lord. So, this is one more way that we can see who is really the incarnation or an expansion of the Lord, or is the Lord Himself, because the Lord has this beautiful markings on the palms of His hand and soles of His feet. Like soles of his feet, there is the barley corn, urdhva rekha, there is the conch shell, the lotus flower, like that. Different markings are there. So now Lord Brahma is seeing some markings on the palm and soles of Maharaj Prithu's hand and feet, and so he can understand he's a empowered incarnation. Because many people, they say they might be an incarnation, but then do they have this? Are they born with this? Not that they draw it later on. They have to be born with that because God or His incarnation is always empowered. It's not that Krishna became God after he became certain age. No. As soon as he appears, he's God. He's always God. That's how he could kill Putana. He was just few days old. He could kill Putana. And yeah, so many demons he kept killing when he was just a baby. There's a system by which one can detect an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nowadays, it has become a cheap fashion to accept any rascal as an incarnation of God. But from this incident, we can see that Lord Brahma personally examined the hands and feet of King Pṛthu for specific signs. In their prophecies, the learned sages and Brahmanas accepted Pṛthu Maharaj as a plenary partial expansion of the Lord. During the presence of Lord Krishna, however, a king declared himself Vasudev and Lord Krishna killed him. Yeah, there was a king. He was saying, "Oh, I'm the real Krishna." And he was telling Krishna, "You give me the Sudarshan Chakra because I'm real Krishna." He sent a letter to Krishna, and when Krishna heard the letter, he was laughing. And then there was a fight, and when Krishna saw him, he laughed further because this king had stuck two artificial arms on his body to show that he's Vishnu, to show that he has four arms. He stuck two arms, so he looked ridiculous. I forget the name of the king now. But anyway, Krishna killed him
Is it
then.
not? Is it the Channi King?
Huh?
Channi something. Channi King. It is in the Krishna book. The stories there in the Krishna book. King
It's
Channi.
there.
Yeah, it's
Krishna,
there. Yeah, which Channi, something like that.
yeah, and I forget the name of the king now.
Veshi, Chan, Veshi, something. Channi.
No, no,
It's
no,
no.
no,
Okay. Chedi. No, not King Chedi, right? No.
no.
Okay.
Chedi, that is Shishupal. King of Chedi is
Oh, okay.
Shishupal, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
This was,
Okay.
I forget the name. Yeah. So before accepting
Chan.
someone as an incarnation of God, one should verify his identity according to the symptoms mentioned in the Shastras. So, because our faith may be taken advantage of. So before we accept someone as an incarnation of God, then we need to do the research. We need to check in which Shastras is mentioned, which authorities are mentioning it, what's the qualification of those authorities. So without these symptoms, the pretender is subject to be killed by the authorities for pretending to be an incarnation of God. So Prabhupada would always say, don't take these things cheaply. We do so much research work when we want to buy something. Especially if it's of great value, then we invest so much in energy and time to research properly. Similarly, when we are researching about spirituality, then we need to research well. Tasyabhisheka arabdho
Tasya Abhishek Arabdho
आरब्धो
brahmaner brahmavadibhe
ब्राह्मणे
Brahmane
ब्रह्मवादिभिः
Brahmavadirvihi
abhishek chanikani asmai
अभिषेच्य
Abhishek Chanikani
अनेकानि
Asmai
ajaru sarvato jana.
आजरु
Aratu
सर्वतो
Sarvataha
जनः
Janaha.
The learned Brahmanas, who were very attached to the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, then arranged for the king's coronation. People from all directions collected all the different paraphernalia for the ceremony. Thus, everything was complete. So it's not just one group of people are saying that Pṛthu Maharaj is incarnation of God. We can see everyone has come. Lord Brahma has come, the demigods have come, the Siddhas have come, the Gandharvas, the Apsaras. So it's like a known fact among all these great personalities. Sarit Samudra Gira Yo
Sahit
सरित्समुद्राः
Samudra
तीरयो
Naga Gava Khagamriga
Naga Gav
नागागावखगामृगः
Khagamrigaha
Shittihi Sarvabhutani
द्यौक्षितिः
Yogshaktihi
सर्वभूतानि
Sarvabhuta
Samajagarur Upayanam.
Samajagrutaya Namo.
समाजागरूपायनम्
All the rivers, seas, hills, mountains, serpents, cows, birds, animals, heavenly planets, the earthly planet, and all other living entities collected various presentations according to their ability to offer the king. So the various personalities are giving gifts to the king. So Abhishekto Maharaja
So
तो
Abhishekto Maharaja
Vasa Sadva Alankrita
सुवासा
साधु
साध्वलङ्कृतः
अलङ्कृतः
पति पत्न्याचिशालङ्कृतया
पत्न्या अर्चितालङ्कृतया
विरेजे अग्निरिवापर.
विरेजे
विरेजे
अग्नि
अग्नि इवापरः.
Thus the great King Pṛthu, exquisitely dressed with garments and ornaments, was coronated and placed on the throne. The king and his wife Archie, who was also exquisitely ornamented, appeared exactly like fire. So the coronation has happened. He's been declared the king. Tasmai Jahara Dhanado.
तस्मै जहार
आराधनदो
Emam Veera Varasana.
धर्मं वीरवरासनम्
Varuna Salila Sravam.
वरुणसलिलाश्रावम्
Ata Patram Shashi Prabham.
आतपत्रं शशीप्रभम्.
शशीप्रभम्.
The great sage continued, my dear Vidur, Kuber presented the great King Pṛthu, with a golden throne. The demigod Varuna presented him with an umbrella that constantly sprayed fine particles of water and was as brilliant as the moon. So anyone remembers who is Kubera? What's his position?
He's the god of treasure.
That's right. Yes, he's the treasurer. And Varuna?
Varuna is Jal for the water.
Yes, that's right. Yes, he's the one who controls the water, the demigod controlling water. That's why he's giving him an umbrella which can spray water. And Kuber is giving him a golden throne. So then, Vayuscha Vale Vyajane
वायुष्यवालव्यजने
Dharma Kirti Mayim Srajam
धर्मकीर्तिमयीं स्रजम्.
Indra Kiritam Utkritsam
इन्द्रकिरीटम् उत्कृष्टम्
Dandam Samyamanam Yamaha.
दण्डं
दण्डं
संयमनं
संयमनं
यमः.
The demigod of air, Vayu, presented King Pṛthu with 2 whisks, chamaras of hair. The king of religion, Dharma, presented him with a flower garland which would expand his fame. The king of heaven, Indra, presented him with a valuable helmet. And the superintendent of death, Yamaraj, presented him with a scepter, with which to rule the world. So they're all giving him different gifts. Vayu is giving him chamara, Dharmaraj is giving him a flower garland so he can become more glorious. Indra is giving him a helmet, crown, and Yamaraj a scepter. Brahmamayam Varma
ब्रह्मा ब्रह्ममयं वर्मा
Bharati Haram Uttamam
भारतीहारमुत्तमम्
Hari Sudarshanam Chakram
हरिसुदर्शनं चक्रं
Tatpatni Avyahatam Shriyam.
तत्पत्नी अव्याहतं श्रियमः.
Lord Brahma presented King Pṛthu with a protective garment made of spiritual knowledge. Bharati Saraswati, the wife of Brahma, gave him a transcendental necklace. Lord Vishnu presented him with a Sudarshan disc, and Lord Vishnu's wife, the goddess of fortune, gave him imperishable opulences. All the demigods presented various gifts to King Pṛthu. Hari, an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Upendra in the heavenly planet, presented the king with a Sudarshan disc. So Upendra is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord, and he is giving him a Sudarshan Chakra. It should be understood that this Sudarshan disc is not exactly the same type of Sudarshan disc used by the personality of Godhead, Krishna or Vishnu. Since Maharaj Pṛthu was a partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's power, the Sudarshan disc given to him represented the partial power of the original Sudarshan disc. So as Maharaj Pṛthu is a partial representative of Krishna, similarly the Sudarshan disc which he's getting is also has partial power of the original Sudarshan disc. Makes sense, right? Dasha Chandram Asim Rudra
Dashaha Chandram Asim Rudra
Shata Chandram Tathambika
Shata
Chandram
Chandram
Tathamrita
Tathamritaha
Somo Amritamayan Ashwams
Somacham
Namo
Amritmayan
Amrutamayanam
Ashwan
Twashta Rupashrayam Ratham.
Tvashta Rupam
Rupashrayam
Ratham.
Ratham.
Lord Shiva presented him with a sword within a sheath marked with 10 moons, and his wife, the goddess Durga, presented him with a shield marked with 100 moons. The moon demigod presented him with horses made of nectar, and the demigod Vishwakarma presented him with a very beautiful chariot. So Vishwakarma is the architect of the demigods, and he's giving him a chariot. The moon god gave him horses made of nectar. Horses made of nectar. And Lord Shiva is giving him a sword with 10 moons, and Durga Devi is giving him a shield with 100 moons. So we'll stop here. Did anyone want to add anything or question? Any comment? Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki